Hello and welcome back to a brand new series on the channel. Today's video I'll be starting off my Hot Lap series. In this one I'll be starting at Catalunya as Valentino Rossi. So first up I'm going to play the lap in full at full speed with the audio on, just so you can see the lap in its full, see everything at live time. Then I'll play it back at half speed and I'll commentate over the whole thing. So let's jump straight in. So just a quick disclaimer for this video, I'm not running a setup. In future videos I probably will, it's just I haven't got around to really understanding the setups on this game yet, so I'm currently running a base setup. Now the bike did feel pretty good, so maybe the setups on this game aren't too bad, but we'll see. I'm running a medium front and a soft rear, and you can see my electronics in the bottom right. So as we start the lap, you're coming down to turn 1 at over 210 miles an hour. You're braking just after the white line there and just before the left on the rumble strips. So back as far as first gear. Now I run just a tad wide coming in here, but what I do is I square it off and I short shift to second, try and get a good exit out of turn 2. Now I don't brake coming into turn 3, as you'll see. I just kind of roll off and just throw the bike in, and as you see the second DHL sign there, I pick the throttle up and I sit the bike up and just drift it around as they would in real life. Go up to third, now go up to fourth gear for turn 4 and just back as far as first. You want a late apex here, so you see I turn in quite early, just getting the initial corner in. Now I run it wide so I get maximum on exit, so just keep it in first for a bit and I go up to second. Now I never go into third gear here. What I do is I brake just at the second monster sign here, just a bit on the limiter. Now I use a lot of rear brake there and I use engine braking because it's very upsets the bike if you use a lot of front brake. Now you can see I run slightly wide there, but that's okay, I square it off. It's a bit of an awkward corner. So we go up as far as fourth gear here, and just on the left on the inside there you'll see a service road there, and that's what I brake for. Back as far as second straight away, and then on tipping in down to first gear. Now I make a small mistake here, touch the curb, but I get away with it. And on the change of direction I use a lot of rear brake just to counteract the wheelie. Now just after that shadow you go back to second gear, tip in. Now on this one I pick up the throttle quite early and drift out as far as the curb. Ideally you don't want to touch the curb because it will upset the bike on this game, and I would just touch it, but it doesn't make much of a difference. Now you'll see on the right side just before the monster sign a white line, that is your braking marker again. Back as far as first gear. Now here I take it quite an early apex just there and then run it out slightly wide, and then I short shift to second in a bit and bring the bike back to the left just to open up turn 11. Now what I do is I brake just initially there and I go back to first, but I try and keep my momentum through this corner because it's a hairpin, basically to get a good exit. Now you see I get really tight to the curb there. Up to second gear. Now I do get a wheelie here and I just modulate the brake just a small bit, but again just try and take as much speed as I just kind of pick up the throttle as early as possible. Now I pick it up quite early there, and I just run out to the curb, hit the rev limiter a second. That's your limit just for tipping in. Now just a tad wide there again, but I pick it up again and pick up the throttle quite early and full power, power to the line. So that gets me a 1 minute 37.5. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this one for Catalunya. If you have any other tracks you'd like me to do in the future, please comment below. As I said, in future videos I will mess around with setups and I'll give you a bit more of a detailed setup view for it. But just for this one, I just wanted to use the base one just as I'm still getting up to speed with the game. So thank you so much for watching. I should have another video up by the end of the week, and I'll see you then.